Chapter 13, Presenting a Speech Confidently and Competently. We are going to discuss styles of delivering speeches, public speaking anxiety, effective delivery, and using presentation aids. Styles of delivering a speech. So some speeches are impromptu. You guys won't be doing an impromptu speech until later in the quarter. And that means you have little or no preparation. So basically, I'm just going to give you a topic and you're going to prepare a quick speech. So the advantages are you don't need to prepare too much, but that could also be a disadvantage because it causes stress. It sounds more genuine since you're going off the cuff. However, for some people, it's difficult to speak on the spot and it's stressful and causes anxiety. Some speeches are extemporaneous, and that means that they are carefully prepared to sound as though they are spontaneous. So the advantages of those type of speeches are that you can have notes while making the speech. Some disadvantages is that there's a strict time constraints and it's important to have perfect grammar. Next, we have scripted speeches, and that's where they're composed word for word, so everything is written down. So the advantage of that is it provides control and the speaker will know what they're going to say. However, it takes a lot of time to prepare a speech that way, and a manuscript can be distracting for the speaker and for the audience if someone's sitting there reading. Next, we have memorized speeches. So that's where they're memorized word for word. The advantages of that is that the speaker has high control over what's being said. There are no notes for distraction, and the speaker can use natural gestures and make eye contact with the audience. The disadvantages of memorized speeches are that they take time to write and time to memorize. The speaker may sound insecure with the audience. And also the speaker's memory can fail during delivery, and that's usually caused by anxiety. Managing public speaking anxiety. So it's a form of stress that has psychological effects and physiological effects. So some people, just the thought of the speech gives them anxiety. They start to anticipate the speech. They start to anticipate how their anxiety is going to play out. And then that makes anxiety worse. So the physical effects of speaking anxiety is a fight or flight response is kicked off. So it's elevated stress hormones, increased heart rate, the pupils might dilate, the blood pressure increases, people, their hands might sweat, their feet might sweat, their mind might go blank. They might forget what they're going to say, and that can cause more anxiety and more fear. Some people just freeze. There are some behavioral effects, so the voice might shake or it might squeak. The person might lose their voice, or they might just speak really loudly or too quickly. Their mouth and throat might become really dry. The facial expression might look like a deer in the headlights, or they might look afraid. The general movement, so some people will rub their legs, they will touch their hair or their face, and these are movements as far as self-soothing goes. And then the verbal behavior, as I mentioned before, they might speak louder, they might speak quicker. Anxiety with public speaking is a real thing. Some people's minds will go blank and they might have an urge to run or just escape the situation any way possible. And they have Adele here because she actually has public speaking anxiety sometimes when she sings, and she's actually canceled concerts sometimes because of this. So it is a real thing, even though she has a very beautiful voice. Anxiety from public speaking can be used to an advantage. So just know that it's normal, accept the fact that you might have anxiety, and that's okay. So focus your nervous energy on your performance. You can visualize your performance beforehand as successful. Desensitize yourself so you will keep putting yourself in situations where you have to speak to audiences. Practice virtually with an avatar. You have access to that, and stay positive. Practice delivery. Visual elements affect delivery. So facial expressions, make sure your facial expressions fit the tone of the speech. Eye contact with the audience is very important. Having a straight posture and a good body position is important. You don't want to be slouched over or not facing the audience unless it's part of your speech. Gestures can be important as far as enunciating, having people paying more attention to certain parts of the speech, and your personal appearance. You want to look professional or look the part depending on what the speech is talking about or what the speech is on. Vocal elements can affect delivery as far as how quickly someone's speaking, their volume, their pitch, how they articulate their words, how fluent they are, how smoothly the words come out of their mouth, or does it seem like they're stuttering, or if they're stunted, or if they're forgetting something. While you are in front of an audience, presentation aids can enhance your speech, so it can make it better. It can improve attention, learning, and recall. You can use presentation aids that aren't electronic. You can bring objects that are personal to the story or maybe personal to you. Sensory aids as far as flavors, textures, and odors. If you're maybe teaching someone to cook, you can have handouts for people to look at, and you can bring other people on the stage to help with your presentation. You can have plain slides, which are text slides. You can have graphic slides with tables and charts. You can add pictures, video, and audio, and those are for your electronic presentation aids. So when deciding if you're going to use a presentation aid or choose one, remember what your goal is. Make sure the aids support your goal. Consider the context, so the size and arrangement of the room, if there's time available for the speech and also other aids or videos. Are there resources available to help with that as far as cables and wires to help you plug in the electronic aids? So try to be simplistic. You want your speech to speak for itself. You don't want the aids to overbear whatever your speech is. Be ethical. Practice with your presentation aids and have a backup plan in case they fail.